Hi, welcome back to my video diary of completing all the Final Fantasies. Today I'm playing the first Final Fantasy. It's the one that kicked off the whole franchise. And I'm really excited to play this one. I anticipated this to be a blind playthrough, but I recorded the first couple of hours right up to the Marsh Caves, and when I actually played it back, the sound quality wasn't good, so I've had to restart. But this is as much of a blind playthrough as it can be, aside from the points up to the Marsh Caves, and actually it sort of helped me get a little bit to grips with the mechanics of the game and some of the little quirks of the game. So it will be as blind as it can be. This game itself was released in 1987, I think December 1987, and I've got to say, from what I've played of it so far, it's really enjoyable given its date. Now, this game was the final roll of the dice for Hironobu Sakaguchi, who had made many attempts to produce an RPG game all those years, many years ago. And this was the final roll of the dice, really. He played one last game, which he called Final Fantasy, purely because it was his final attempt at producing an RPG game, and he named it Final Fantasy. And from there on, we have got the series of games that we have grown to love. So let's start at the very beginning, and without further ado, let's get going. So you'll see here, this is my load game where I got as far as the Marsh Caves. We're going to start a new game because I want to, now that I've sorted out the sound quality, do a bit of a better job for you. So first things first, you get the choice of naming your characters. My first character, who is a knight. Let's leave the naming of the knight for last. We've got the class options of warrior, thief, monk, black mage, white mage, red mage. Now the warrior wields weapons, the thief is, as it says, a thief. I'm going to go for a monk because they do hand combat. And although this isn't a complete representation, and I appreciate that I was hoping it would be a brawler, but we're going to go for the name of Tifa, because she was also good with her hand-to-hand combat. So we're going Tifa. Being a monk, I could have gone for someone like a name like Auron, but I'm trying to make sure that all of my favourite Final Fantasies are represented with the names of the characters. So we're going Tifa in this, so we're going to use that name, and Tifa's going to be a monk because of the hand combat. White mage we're going to have, and we're going to go for literally my favourite character of all time, which is Yuna from Final Fantasy X. As a black mage, there are so many paths I could have gone down here. I could have gone Vivi. I could have gone Lulu, but because I've gone Yuna, I don't think that's a good idea. I really ummed and ahed about this because there are some decent black mages that I could have gone for. The one I'm actually going to go for, which is a bit of a cop-out because they're not although they're a playable character, they're not a mainstay playable character. I'm going to go Idea from 8. And if you haven't checked out my playthrough of Final Fantasy 8, then give it a check. Again, the sound quality is not great. I streamed it as well, whereas this is going to be edited, this series, so just something to bear in mind there. But nevertheless, still a good playthrough. And so for the warrior, we've got 7, we've got 8, and we've got 10. Now, I could have gone Varn from 12. I could have gone Cloud, but obviously 7's already gone. I could have gone Squall. I could have gone for so many of the character names. I am going to go for, and this may shock you, but I'm going to go Barsh from 12, because 12 is another one of my favourite games. As I say, I could have gone Varn, but I think being a warrior, I think Barsh is the better of the options. So with that in mind, let's crack on and start the game. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, I'm done. Okay. The world lies shrouded in darkness. Loving the water ripples. Oh, fiddlesticks. Did I really do that? I thought I'd skip the whole episode. The winds die. The water effect's decent. The seas rage. The earth decays. But the people believe in a prophecy, patiently awaiting its fulfillment. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. After a journey, 4 young travellers did at last appear, and in the hand of each was clutched a crystal. And that's us. So those are the controls. And here we are. So the first thing I did when I was looking around was I couldn't wait to start a battle. So let's start a battle, if we can start one. And obviously early Final Fantasy, very simple stuff. I'm not even going to use, you'll notice that we can't use magic yet, so the mages have to use attacks, because they're mages. So pretty simple. You'll notice as well up here, if you try and explore up here, the bridge is not built. Crazy horse. We don't want to go too far because we don't have any healing items or magic, so obviously Tifa is an example. Crazy horse is really strong. So we've got a level up there. And there we go, we've got a potion. We could do with 2 really, but we're going to immediately use that potion on Tifa. Oh. Do I have any more? No. Okay. So we've got to hope Yuna makes it back. It doesn't get... Yeah, we're going to get lucky. Cool. Okay, so let's start the story, shall we? Cornelia. The king is searching for the prophesied warriors of light. Those crystals. You must see the king at once. Welcome, travellers. I'm told you carry crystals. Is this true? It's just as Lucan's prophecy foretold. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. Your Majesty, we cannot be certain that these are the warriors foretold by the prophecy. Yet they stand before us with the crystals. I cannot dismiss this as a mere coincidence. Crystal bearers, there is a task I would ask of you. Will you rescue my daughter Sarah? Garland, a knight once in His Majesty's service, has abducted Princess Sarah. I ask for your aid in the name of His Majesty, the King of Cornelia. Garland has taken refuge in the Chaos Shrine, which lies to our north. Of course, we did attempt to save the princess ourselves, but Garland is the finest swordsman in the kingdom. We have none who can catch him. I have heard that you wish to journey to the continent of our north. The bridge leading north was lost long ago, making passage impossible. If you can rescue Sarah, I will have the bridge rebuilt as a token of my gratitude. Go now, warriors of light, do not fail me. So that's the same dialogue. Dancing girl in town knows many odd bits of information. If you find yourself astray, try talking to her. She may know something that can put you back on course. So first off, I really like this map. I doubt this map was in the original, but it's quite useful. So let's have a little explore. I don't think they say anything. Our reports say that Garland fled north with the princess to the Chaos Shrine. Okay. The king is searching for the prophesied warriors of light. Those crystals, could it be? Garland was once the greatest knight in the kingdom, but power consumed him and he lost the sight of who he really was. Sad. Please save Lady Sarah. So there's a great concern that Sarah's been abducted. Her Majesty's overcome with grief. She shut herself inside the chambers. Please try not to upset her. I am Jane, Queen of Cornelia. Please bring my daughter, my Sarah, back to me safely. Try our best. My sister, I want my sister. Okay, so they're all royalty, aren't they? The king is searching for the... Yeah, okay, so that's the same. I've spoken to him. He speaks to that wizard guy. Okay. Our ancestors sealed weapons within this treasure room for 400 years ago. They then gave the key to the Elf King to hold until the coming of the Warriors of Light. So, one thing I noticed very early on was that all of these rooms has been sealed by the Mystic Key. Our ancestors sealed... Yeah, okay, it's the same dialogue. We're going to hear about this Mystic Key a lot, and I didn't manage to get the Mystic Key back, certainly by the time that we... of the Marsh Caves. So let's have a look around Cornelia. This is Cornelia, the city of dreams. So an overnight stay is where you go in here. I don't think I need that yet. What is it? 539. Hi there, I'm a dancer. What's that? You want to dance with me? Hee hee. So let's stock up on everything. Restore the crystals to grace. In actual fact, the sensible thing to do, so I don't leave myself short, is to do the overnight stay for the sake of 30 gil. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look at the weaponry that's available to us. Let's see what we got. So, we've got nunchucks for the monk, a knife which, to be honest, doesn't look like I'm going to be giving to anyone. For some reason the monk's got a staff at the moment, a rapier and a hammer. Now it doesn't sit right with me that mages use to use anything other than staffs, particularly the white mage, but in this for some reason they're able to use a hammer. So... I think in the early game, one thing that I noticed when using the white mage is that they're pretty much useless, apart from curing, which is obviously a useful power. But in terms of like combat, particularly in the early part, you end up having to use them for physical attacks anyway. So I am going to buy a hammer for the white mage. I'm going to buy a rapier for the knight. Don't need to buy any staffs, we've all got that. Interesting that the staff is a step up from... Okay. And then for the monk, I am going to buy some nunchucks. So let's just equip these weapons to make sure we've all got... interesting that accuracy goes down, to be fair. And I'm afraid the black mage right now is just going to have to make do, because I don't think you can hold... Well, you can hold a knife. That brings your attack down. So while we're here, let's sell the items, because I dare say they probably tend to mount to useless. Yeah, and the early weapons seem to be really cheap. Restore the crystals to grace. Trying. The armory. So, 2 people can wear leather armour and you can wear chainmail, but the disparity in weight. Defense 15 with defense plus 4. Let's get leather armour and then chainmail. Okay, we'll start with the chainmail. Although the defense is good, it really lowers your speed. There were no shields in there though, were there? No, that must be in the next team. Okay. Yeah, I really like as well that if you can communicate with something, then you get this... Oh, please, you must rescue the princess. Magic. So, this is obviously the black magic. We want fire for sure. We want thunder for sure. But do we want sleep or do we want focus? I like the fact that sleep does attack all enemies or affect all enemies, so I'm going to go for that. Seems quite powerful, that. We'll go in the white magic shop. And obviously there's a cure in here, which is pretty decent. Deer, which damages all undead enemies, which is pretty decent. See, that says raises caster's evasion, which for me isn't... If it was raised the evasion of one of your party members, then I would take it, but I'm going for protect because you can cast that on someone. So that's that. Sage Lucan said something about finding the crescent moon, then he just upped and left town. The king truly believes in Lucan's prophecy that the warriors of light will come to save the princess. Okay. This is an item shop. So if you ever see a teapot, you know it's an item shop. And we're going to buy a couple of potions. I think you've got to be pretty unlucky to need any of those other items. Maybe an antidote, but it's too late now. I once lived far to the east of here, in the harbour city of Provoca. These days I hear it's turned into a pirate's den. So the only place we haven't visited is this place, which is a big church. It's where you come to revive your characters if they faint in battle. Please rescue Lady Sarah. So, out the way, move your ass. Cool, okay. So let's crack on, shall we? We know where we're going. We need to go to the north. Best example here. So yeah, we need to go to the north. And one thing that I noticed very early is that the need for grinding in this game is a lot higher. Yeah, see, that hammer's really becoming useful there. Okay, so I've done a little bit of grinding off camera just to bring me up a few levels, really. From my experience, you need to do quite a bit of grinding for finances, really, and also in the early stages, particularly the mages are quite low on HP. It's quite easy to get wiped out, so I think it's a good move. And so now we're going to head on and retrieve them. So I think I've got something like 7 potions and 3 antidotes, which should be okay. I mean, doing the grinding I've been up here, and the one thing I haven't done is actually gone into the ruins, because I thought I would save that for when I progress the storyline. So let's crank on. So the strength there. It may seem right now that we're overpowered, but we're really not. This game, I think, maybe it seems to have quite strong difficulty spikes. Like when I made to the marsh caves, I found it a tough change. So let's first and foremost go in here. The king will have no choice but to exchange the kingdom for his daughter's life. Cornelia will be mine. Who's there? The king's lapdogs. Do you have any idea who you're messing with? You really think you have what it takes to cross swords with me? Very well. I, Garland, will knock you all down. First proper battle, but to be honest, again, I've done this battle before in my prior playthrough with the poor sound quality, so I'm not too concerned, but we are going to use a magic spell. 36, not bad. 22, 27, 19 minutes, 16 minutes. I'm going to go for another round. Except I'm going to keep the HP up. This time I'll go for fire. Yeah, so he's really picking on Tifa. I don't. Fire's stronger. I think this could be Curtis. I'm going to see. Let's protect, isn't it? Let's just do a physical. Fire was strong. I think it would be a waste to use sleep now. But okay, let's just try and see if sleep works anyway. Just the battle place. So the battle place anyway. Got to be some time. You've come to rescue me? I am Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Words could never be enough to thank you. That's the first time anyone's ever defeated Garland. You must allow me to show my gratitude. Please accompany me to Castle Cornelia. Very well. Thank you for returning my daughter to my side. There can be no doubt you are the warriors of light from Lucan's prophecy. You should hear the prophecy in its entirety, if I may. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. If they cannot gather the shards of light, the darkness will consume all. The 4 crystals will never shine again. Now, I hear that a crystal can be found on the continent to our north. Restoring light to the crystals is our only hope of ridding the world of the monsters which plague it. I will have the bridge to the north rebuilt as I promised. I pray that you succeed in restoring light to the crystals and to the world. Great stuff. So, do these guys... The dancing girl in town? Yeah, we know. Okay. The loot has been entrusted to the Princess of Cornelia for many generations. When he abducted me, Garland took this loot as well. I want you to have it. It may aid you on your journey. Obtain the loot. Thanks. Sarah's thoughts are always with you. Okay. So, Let's just see if these guys say anything to us. I don't know how I could ever thank you for rescuing Sarah. Potion or Phoenix down won't go on this. My sister's back. Thanks to you, I could kiss you. Mwah. Okay. Great. That's fine. You floozy. Now, let's do this. And just see if this guy says anything different. I don't think he does. Okay. So, pretty good introduction, I think, that. Nice. Orders from His Majesty. We're to do our part to fulfill Lucan's prophecy. So, no prizes for guessing where we need to go next. Thanks, guys. What does this bridge have to do with the prophecy? The 4 warriors of light are here. They're here in Cornelia. Okay. So that's good. Probably best, before we cross the bridge, let's do an overnight stay. And I want to revisit the wreckage up the top. Because there were in there as well 4 like rooms in the corners. So, as I say, grinding in this game is really important. And I guess it's probably, let's not forget, we're going back to 1987 when this was released. And so it's probably quite limited in terms of like storyline and map space and things like that. And maybe one of the ways to make the game a little bit longer would be to have these difficulty spikes where you have to grind off screen. This is a particularly nasty battle. You do that as well. Let's see how this goes, because I know that Wolf's pretty tough. That's why I wanted to do the boss battle first, to be honest with you, just to get that sort of out of the way. So, I mean, I might do a little bit of editing while I'm sort of charging around here, just to get the 4 chests, because you don't really need to see the ins and outs of these battles. Haven't decided yet, but I feel like when I was streaming before, I was able to edit off camera, whereas, now this is nice. I want to make sure I show this off, but if we use deer here, this is exactly the sort of enemy that spell is cast. See? It's the first time really that the white mage has been able to sort of damage an enemy properly. But whereas before I was streaming, and I think deer works on this one as well. Got to be careful not to get too cocky, because there's only a limited number of casts, and I'd rather keep the casts with the clips. But yeah, whereas before, like streaming, I don't get the opportunity to edit. At least on this I can. So, potion, tent. So if I do edit in between, you know why. What we'll do is we'll put the leather cap on combustion. Yeah, defense is 16, that's quite good. 6, 1, and 1. So maybe put it on one of the mages. You can have the leather cap, just raises your defense by 1. I think that's a smart one. And that one's secured with the mystic key. Get used to hearing about that. That's okay. Okay. Now it's time to beat it. Rest up, and then we can cross the bridge. Ooh. It's poisoned as well. Yeah, look, I've received 1 antidote. You should really use the antidote yourself. You've got 1 more cure left. Nice. Glad that came in first, actually. So, green wolves must be able to inflict poison on it, which is and Tifa got her revenge. Right, okay, so that was that. Let's do a quick save. We can go back to town now. Rest up. And once we've rested up, we can head across the bridge. And I think that's a good place to call this first video, to be fair. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, plenty more fun to be had. Yeah, you get down here, the encounter rate's a lot lower. And a lot more manageable when you look at the enemies. One final time just to troll me. Okay. And we're in. Okay. Let's rest up. Oh, fiddlesticks, I know what we need to do. Let's stock up on items as well while we've got the money. So... Can I see sleeping bag? Let's get a couple of sleeping bags. They could be useful because we're heading up. So let's get 4 of them. Bring that to 10. Bring that to 5. Okay, 6. I am tempted by Phoenix Down. I'm not going to do it just yet. And I could live to regret that. But I think that's... Oh, Oh, of course, I found a tent, didn't I? Which is nice. I think that should be enough, to be honest. I am tempted. Do you know what? I'm going to buy Phoenix down just in case. I hate it when my characters are like out of sync with their level ups. Let's get 2 ethers as well. Okay. Might as well use all the money. We've got everything we need here. So, okay, we're going to call it a day there. If you've taken the time to watch this, then thank you very much indeed, and we will catch you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.